What's up, WWE Supercard fans? It's Dead Body Man, and I'm back with another video for Season 6. We are 3 days away from the Royal Rumble tier, and I noticed that a few people just don't seem to understand after all these seasons how to play Team Battleground properly. So I wanted to show you guys a video. Um, let's jump right in. I already maxed all my cards, but I'm going to use one of my teammates as an example. If you look underneath your charges right here, you see use all. And I'll tell you right now that that was probably one of the worst introductions into this game, for the simple fact that all the people that don't know how to play, they'll just use the use all button. And on our team, we like to call it the lose all button, because this is what you get. Everybody that uses the use all button will spread all their charges. When they use the use all, it will spread whatever amount of charges you have across all your cards. So instead of listening to us and charging one card at a time, strongest first, which makes sense, all the way down to the weakest card, this is the results you get. So when the Team Battleground starts, chances are, if he didn't max all of his cards out, we're going to start, and every single one of his cards will not be able to beat our opponent, for the simple fact that our opponent will probably have all their cards maxed, if not at least their top cards maxed, and these cards would all end up being useless. So you don't want to use the use all button. You want to charge one card at a time. Always do the Vanguard, then the Primal, then the Nightmare. Strongest to weakest first. It just makes sense. Another thing I wanted to point out is when you do start playing, there's a lot of game modes, not including PvP. Because in PvP you can't do it. But in other game modes like Wild, Money in the Bank, I'm not even sure about Giants Unleashed because I've never had to restart. But if you were gonna lose a game, if I started playing and I was gonna lose a game, I would restart the game before the loss, for the simple fact that I'm not trying to lose any games. I can give an example. Probably playing a wild game, see what happens. Chances are I'll probably win. But just to show you, if I was doing a quest or a challenge and it said I needed to win 5 wild games in a row, excuse me, in a row, I would see, like right there, I just lost. My female lost. Well, that puts me down a game, so now I have to win the next 2 games, or next 2 matches. So what happens is, if I felt like I was gonna lose, let's see, down and up to match. I'm gonna restart just to do it. But if I felt like I was gonna lose that, I would just hit that, close all, however you want to restart the game, go back into the game, and when the game loads up, in any of the game modes besides PvP, you will not lose those bouts. Obviously, there are no bouts in Wild, but again, like I was saying, if you were trying to do a quest or something, an open challenge, let's see down here. Looking for one. Okay, yeah. Win wild streak. Win consecutive wild games. 5 of 5. I have it. If I was at 4 of 5 and I was about to lose my 5th match, I would restart the game so I can keep my 4 of 5, and I would just try to get that one last win in. Um, Same thing with Team Battleground. If you're playing against somebody and I choose an opponent and I felt like I was winning the first game, I won the second game, good. But if I won the first and lost the second and now it's 1-1, I don't know exactly if I'm going to win that third match or not. So what I would do is I would just click on my card. Don't tap the screen fast. Just watch and see what opponent card comes up. If he's not charged, good. If you can beat him, good. But if it looks like you're not going to beat him, just do like I said. You can either hit close all, or like on my Galaxy phone, I can just swipe up and that'll close it out too, and I'll just open it back up. No big deal. But the reason why I'm pointing this out is because we say at least a dozen times a day, don't spread your charges in Team Battleground, because every single card will be a loser if you spread all your cards out. None of these cards are going to win against our opponent if our opponent maxes. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We want to get as many points as possible, so don't spread your charges. It just doesn't make sense to spread them anyways. Do the strongest card first, all the way down to the weakest. If you're going to lose a match, restart the game. It's that simple. And that's how a lot of the pros play. And just to give you an idea, even in Money in the Bank, I have 2 bouts. If I use a bout and I go to play Money in the Bank, if for some reason I felt like I wasn't going to get a perfect and I wasn't going to make it all the way to the end with my cards, I would just restart. I get to keep my bout and I could try again. I'll give you an example. I always like to use my weakest cards first, but I can't use him against that Drew McIntyre, that first one, for the simple fact that he's gonna lose. So I would just have to move up to the next card, and the next card would be my Drew. And again, I don't feel like my Drew's gonna win, so just to be safe, I'll move up to the next card, which is this card right here. My Vanguard Rowan will definitely win. So I'm just going to run through this Money in the Bank real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, speed, charisma, I got you. I always click on it and then I compare. I know that this card right here, Coffee, he's got the same card as me. He's a power and toughness card, so I can clearly see that my speed's going to win and my charisma's going to win, so I'll play against that card. Get rid of my weak card. I always try to get rid of my weak cards first, if I can. I'm not trying to lose a match. If I can, I try to go for perfects. Power, charisma, toughness, speed. Let's see, we'll click on him. I got power, charisma, toughness, speed. I don't feel confident that he's going to win, so I'll play my next highest card, my Brock Lesnar. Of course he's going to win. Now we get down to the last 2 where they're going to be stronger cards. I'm just going to make it easy on myself and just use my last 2 strongest cards. Get this out of the way. I would restart to show you guys that I get to keep my bout, but I'm not going to, for the simple fact that I'm going to get a perfect. So, just finishing up this game right here. And that's a perfect. That's 50 contracts. I know a lot of people ask, what's the trick to playing, and really there is no trick. It's all about patience. You just gotta have patience. You could use your 20 videos that we get every day. After you use up your 5 bouts, that'll give you 250 contracts. Then you can use your 20 videos, that'll give you another 1,000 contracts. So you can get about 1,250 to 1,500 contracts a day. But it's still a grind, and you just gotta have the patience to do it. Other than that, I'm just gonna leave it at that with just those 2 tips right now for the Team Battleground. Don't spread in your charges. Please don't spread charges, because it just doesn't help your team. If you're gonna lose, restart the game. And same thing with Money in the Bank. If you're gonna lose, just restart the game. It's just the easiest way and the most efficient way to help your team and help yourself, of course. I hope these actually helped out, and I have another video that I'd like to make in the very near future, especially with Royal Rumble tier being around the corner with 3 days away. I'll see you guys then.